More and more information, less and less meaning. Baudrillard wrote that decades before the feed existed, before the algorithm, before you started feeling empty for no reason you could name, he already knew what was being built, and he knew exactly what it would do to you. You're lying in bed, phone inches from your face. The screen light hits your eyes like a cold fluorescent lamp in a hospital room. Your thumb moves on its own. Scroll, stop, scroll again. Someone just bought a house. Someone's shredded. Someone's traveling. Someone's thriving. And you're here, in the dark, breathing slightly faster than you should be. That pressure in your chest, it's not anxiety, it's not depression, it's not a chemical imbalance that needs a prescription. It's the weight of 1,000 fake lives pressing down on your lungs. You've been trying to compete, working harder, eating cleaner, posting more. And the gap between where you are and where they seem to be just keeps getting wider, like running on a treadmill that slowly tilts uphill while you're not looking. Here's what nobody told you. You're not losing a real race. You're losing a fake one. And that distinction, it's going to change everything. If this is already hitting you somewhere you weren't expecting, subscribe, hit the like, because what I'm about to show you, the actual mechanism behind why modern life drains you. Most people will live their entire lives without ever seeing it clearly. Jean Baudrillard wasn't a motivational speaker. He wasn't trying to sell you a course. He was a cold-blooded analyst of how modern culture works, and what he found scared him. He wrote that we no longer live in reality. We live in a simulation of reality. Not science fiction, not the Matrix. Something far more mundane and far more dangerous. A world where the image of success, of beauty, of a good life, has completely replaced the experience of those things. He called this the hyperreal, and his key insight was brutal. The hyperreal doesn't feel fake. It feels more real than real. That's what makes it lethal. Your brain can't tell the difference between a genuine human life and a carefully curated feed. So it treats the feed as data, as a benchmark, as the standard. And you, your actual messy, imperfect, real life, you lose every single time. Think about how a deep-sea fish lures its prey. It dangles a small, glowing light in the darkness. The prey doesn't know the light is attached to a monster. It just sees something bright and beautiful in the void, and it swims toward it. That's you, on the feed, every single day. The content isn't designed to inform you. It isn't designed to connect you. It's designed to destabilize you just enough that you keep scrolling, keep comparing, keep feeling like you're one more piece of content away from understanding why your life doesn't look like that. And here's what really twists the knife. The people you're comparing yourself to, they're drowning in the same trap. The influencer with the perfect physique and the sunrise routine and the minimalist Bali apartment, they're running on fear too. Fear that if they stop performing the life, the audience disappears. And when the audience disappears, so does the person. You're not competing with people, you're competing with their ghosts. And here's where most people get it completely backwards. The instinct, the natural human response, is to try harder, post more, optimize more, work on your image, work on your brand, get better at the performance. But that's exactly what the system wants. Every time you try to win inside the simulation, you hand over more of your actual life to it. More time, more mental energy, more of that raw, finite attention that could have been building something real. You're not falling behind, you're being farmed. And the more desperately you compete, the more efficient the harvest. So what's the move? Not discipline, not detox, not a 30-day social media cleanse where you come back and do the exact same thing refreshed. The move is structural indifference, a cold, deliberate, almost surgical decision to stop assigning weight to anything that doesn't have mass. If you can't touch it, build it, or use it to make your physical life better, it doesn't count. It doesn't get your attention, it doesn't get your emotion, not because you're giving up, because you're opting out of a game that was designed for you to lose. The Stoics built their entire operating system around this idea. Marcus Aurelius, who ran the largest empire on earth while dealing with plague, war, and betrayal, wrote that the only things worth your energy are things within your actual control. Not reputation, not how people perceive you, not trends or status signals or whether the crowd approves. His journal, the meditations written for himself, never meant to be published, reads like a man constantly reminding himself, none of this performance is real. Get back to the work. Get back to the body. Get back to what's in front of you. He wasn't a hermit. He was at the center of the most powerful social machine in the world. But he never let it own him. That's the difference. Not absence, immunity. Here's what happens to someone caught in the hyperreal. Everything destabilizes them. A comment, a comparison, a bad metric day. Their mood is a direct function of external feedback. And here's what happens to someone who's opted out. Almost nothing moves them. Not because they're numb, because they've relocated their internal baseline to something the algorithm can't reach. That asymmetry is enormous. When you stop needing validation from the feed, you become genuinely difficult to manipulate. Let me make this concrete, because philosophy without application is just noise. Scenario 1, you post something, it gets 12 likes. The old version of you recalculates your worth. The new version, you don't check. Because the 12-like metric is data from a broken instrument. The feed's opinion is irrelevant noise. Scenario 2, someone in your social circle is visibly winning online. The old move, quiet resentment, comparison. The new move, total indifference. Their performance is their business. Your physical output, the actual money, the actual skill, the actual body. That's the only scoreboard that counts. Scenario 3, someone makes a status move in conversation to see how you react. The old version scrambles to match it. The new version, nothing. A quiet, almost bored acknowledgement. And the person on the other end will feel it like a cold current of water. They'll respect you more for it than anything you could have said when you stop performing status and start generating actual output in silence. The perception of you shifts. The quiet confidence reads as competence. The lack of need for approval reads as power. This works everywhere. At work, the quiet producer outlasts the loud performer. In relationships, genuine self-sufficiency is a gravitational force. In your body, training for reality outlives training for an aesthetic. Performance is expensive. Reality is efficient. All of this collapses into one rule. One thing to remember: stop spending real energy on fake stakes. Every time you feel the pull to defend yourself online, to perform for an audience that doesn't know you, to chase a metric that doesn't feed you, run it through the rule. Is this a real stake? Does this have mass? Can I touch it? Will it matter in 10 years? If the answer is no, you walk. No drama, no announcement. Here's how to actually start. 3 steps, right now. Audit your inputs. Notice every moment you feel that chest-tightening drop of comparison. Name your specific triggers. Create a physical anchor. Every time you feel the pull to check or perform, do one physical thing instead. One set, one page, one line of code. Train your brain to redirect the impulse into production rather than consumption. Go dark on your output for 30 days. Don't post, don't announce, don't explain, just build. Work on whatever the real project is in complete silence. After a few months of this, the feed starts to look like what it is. A noise machine designed specifically to keep you inside it. And the energy that used to bleed into comparison starts compounding into the real things. Your body gets harder, your finances get cleaner, you become someone who operates in the world rather than reacting to it. The end state is a person who is genuinely difficult to destabilize, not because they've built walls, because they've built ground. Real, solid, tangible ground that doesn't shake when the social feed churns. At that level, the game that used to own you doesn't have rules that apply to you anymore. You can walk into any room and your baseline is calm. Not performed calm, the real thing. The thing Baudrillard pointed at when he described the few people who choose to operate beneath the simulation in the physical world, where things have weight and cost and consequence. So here's what you do. You close the feed. Not forever, you're not a monk, but tonight, right now, close it. And then you do one real thing. Something physical, something that exists in the world after you've done it. Something you could point to and say, this took my time, and now it exists, and no algorithm decides whether it counts. Because here's the truth nobody in the attention economy wants you to know. The most radical thing you can do in a world of simulations is to be real, not louder, not more, Not optimized and packaged and sent back into the machine. Just real, quietly, implacably, unmistakably real. That's the only competition that matters, and it's the only one you can actually win.